Aloha, beautiful family, beautiful pod, beautiful golden galactic celestial family on the planet. We Bliss here doing a little love stream to support our beautiful cosmic family in the great transformation that we are going through. And we were really guided to just do this little love stream right now because it's been with us all day. This energy has been with me all day. These little pieces to share as we go through the great grand dissolution of our egos and how to navigate that with grace and joy and ease. And so one of the hashtags that I've been guided to use lately is hashtag love yourself. And I think it's got like 97 million views, hashtag love yourself. But this hashtag just became very full in my awareness recently to start using with the posts that we're making, because it is one of our superpowers. Loving yourself is one of your superpowers. Loving ourselves is one of our collective superpowers. And so we'll just share a little bit about navigating through the ego and the transformation that is occurring, and a few mechanics. When we have mechanics, when we understand how the engine of the car operates, then we know how we can fix the engine or how to work with the engine of the car. And it's exactly the same with understanding the mechanics of the ego and the mechanics of ego dissolution. And so, as we all know, I share this book all the time, The Gene Keys by Richard Rudd, this incredible synthesis. And this very book is very helpful to understand personally what you might be going through right now inside of yourself. So take what resonates, throw the rest away. Let's just contemplate that we were all playing in a play. We were all playing roles in a play, and the play has now come to an end. And so it's really important to understand what role we were playing so that we can remember we're not the role in the play. And that's what this book is very helpful to do. One of the things that I've been sharing recently on LoveStreams is that the playing field is now equal for all. Doesn't matter if someone is a high-level exec of some big corporation, or part of one of the royal bloodlines, or someone who lives, a very modest life in a small town in the middle of Africa. It is the same process going on the planet for everyone, because we are made of the planet, and the planet itself is going through profound transformation. And so because we are made of everything that the planet is made from, we're actually receiving all of our signals and messages of transformation from the planetary body itself through our physical bodies. And so as roles in the play, if we were playing a play and we were all playing roles in the play and the play is done, we have to wake up to realize we're not the role in the play, so that we can detach from our identification with the ego, detach with our identification with our stories, detach with identification with the material realms that we have identified with as being a part of who we are. We're not saying disassociate from the physical world. It's very different than that right now. We're learning to bring our spiritual essence fully present and aware cosmically aware into our physical selves. And so this transmission shares step by meticulous step how we are moving through the transformational process. And so on the 7th of April 2016, we Bliss legally changed We's name to Unity Grace, and that was a game name given to me by Yogananda and Babaji in my connections with them, and came through in October 2015, and I was told exactly when I would change it and where I would change it legally. And that was to restore unity and grace into our collective consciousness. In this book, unity is the principle, the second gene, and it is the synthesizing principle of the feminine. So you could say that the gene key 2 is the feminine principle. I'm a little hesitant with words because I don't like to number the genes as though they go in order. They really don't. They're really all inside of us. We all have access to all of them. But gene key 2 is the feminine principle. And so the goddess, the feminine energy, has been in the fictional fiction where we may have come from, the Matrix. The goddess was not very present. The goddess was pushed out by the patriarch. And so that goddess energy, that feminine energy, that intuitive energy, that flowing energy, that creative energy is returning to all of us. And so unity and grace, the name that was given to me and the name that I was guided to change my name to legally in the fictional fiction, brought back the codes of the divine feminine and the 22nd gene of grace, which is where all the mechanics of the ascension process are. So let's put it this way. We could say that to unlock the treasures that are within our physical bodies, let's say our physical bodies equated to a building with a treasure vault inside of it. The 22nd gene would be all the codes for how to access the treasure vault. So as we can see, the gene key of grace, the 22nd gene, is a very important gene because it shows us how to unlock and access all the supernatural capacities that reside inside of our physical form. And so gene key 22, the 22nd gene, or the 22nd hexagram of the I Ching, is all about embracing the shadow frequency, what feels like suffering. And as we begin to embrace our uncomfortableness, our suffering, our tension, our stress, our shadow frequencies, our worry, our concerns, as everyone learned through the quarantine, we had to go within and we had to face those parts of ourselves that maybe we hadn't faced before. So as we begin to embrace what feels uncomfortable, and the ascension process, the physical ascension process, can feel very uncomfortable in many ways, to the physical form, to the mental body, to the emotional body, and so on. And if this love stream is inspiring, please share it. That's called gifting. The little share button right there. So this process right now is our willingness to be okay with the unfamiliar and what might feel uncomfortable, and to continually, step by meticulous step, keep showing up for ourselves again and again. It's not a time to kind of like sit back. This is the miracle, to really show up for ourselves and choose again and again and again to align with our source consciousness so more of it can come into our form. And being okay with uncomfortable and unfamiliar can be really uncomfortable and unfamiliar. if we just learn a few simple things about how to hold coherence inside of ourselves, then we can choose consciously to be with the spiritual energy of who we are, or that superpower cosmic energy that is coming in to unlock the form. If we can't be with it, this is what all trainings and teachings, from martial arts to yogic practice, meditation, so on, anything to make ourselves better requires a kind of discipline. And the ego really doesn't like the word discipline. And we have the opportunity to show up for ourselves right now in such a miraculous way, to experience pure bliss, to experience the miraculous, to create our worlds from love, create our worlds from our hearts, create our worlds from fun, from all the joy that resides within us, from all those dreams that have been percolating within and guiding us through all the waves of transformation. So really the message in this love stream is simply this, that as we face the uncomfortable and the unfamiliar, we will experience more dissolution of who we thought we were. And at a shadow frequency, who we think we are is very, very rigid, meaning we hang on to our personality, we hang on to our opinions, we hang on to our beliefs, we hang on to our desires, we hang on to our memories. We hang on to who we think we are very tightly. And so the cosmos has a way of working away at that tight grip that we might feel to identification with who we are, or the way that things should be. Just like the water, the waves of the ocean crashing against the coastline and transforming the shape of the coastline over many, many miracles, many, many waves. And so that's what's happening inside for all of us, is these cosmic waves that keep coming up against the shoreline of who we think we are, of the personality, of the ego, of how life was. The waves just keep coming, and they keep saying to us, let go of that rigid hold. And the mind really doesn't know how to let go of the rigid hold. So we need to find ways that allow us to relax more deeply. And everyone has their own techniques for doing that. We always share the cross your wrists, clasp your hands, cross your ankles, close your eyes, deep breathe, till you feel a mental, emotional, or physical shift. And when you do, open your eyes, unlock your wrists, hands, and ankles. Bring your fingertips together with your eyes open and just hold this pose until you have a sense that a lock-in is complete, that you're present, that that integration that you just felt by bringing the two hemispheres of the brain together is fully anchored in you're back in your physical reality, and you can enjoy that peace and that coherence within. Because as these cosmic waves continue to come up against the belief of who we think we are, dissolving away our capacity to hold on with that tight grip. Whether we want to hold on with the tight grip or not, it's irrelevant, because the cosmos is working its miraculous process through us. And so knowing how to relax in and allow it to happen is like orgasmic. It's a cosmic lovemaking experience. learning to release and let go and allow this river to take us because it knows its destination. It's flowing fast. And as the ego continues to break down and dissolve, the personality, the identification of who we think we are, there's a very, very important piece. Love yourself. Can we just love ourselves long enough to do this? Because that's what it requires right now. Love yourself through all of it. Because as the ego dismantles, as a building falls apart, there can be a lot of chaos, there can be a lot of debris. And that's what happens when the ego comes apart, is as those bonds of beliefs, as those bonds of personality, archetypal energies that have created the container of who we were in the play, as those bonds break apart, there's a lot of energy released in the breaking apart of those bonds. And as that energy releases, it can kind of create that debris in the field of thought patterns, of messages, of voices, of things that we hear inside of us that tell us we're not good enough, that tell us that we're bad, that tell us that we're shameful, that we're guilty, that we're wrong, that we're being rejected, that we should suppress. These are the 6 core wounds. This is actually part of the mechanics of the 22nd gene. We have to overcome those 6 core wounds for the ascension to fully alchemize the cells in our body, to ignite our supernatural capacities. So #LoveYourself is a very important message at this time. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Learn techniques of coherence. This is another one I love. If you just do what's called the butterfly hug, cross your arms across your chest and just tap back and forth alternately. You don't want to do it both like same time. You want to tap back and forth alternately. And this also brings the hemispheres of the brain into coherence. And you can close your eyes and just rest into it and notice the transformation of how you feel when you do this. It brings peace, it brings coherence, it brings calmness, it brings neutrality. And that neutrality can transform everything around us instantly. So whatever might be coming up in our awareness that tells us that we are not good enough, that we're shameful, that we're guilty, that we're bad, that we're wrong, that's all just debris from the bonds of the old personality archetypes breaking apart. It's just debris in the field. It is not to be listened to. It's not to receive our focus or our attention. Our focus and our attention right now is meant to be placed on our heart, on loving ourselves, of going, We're doing it. We rock. So the invitation to our beautiful family is love yourself. Just love yourself. We are perfect exactly as we are. And we're doing this. We're doing this together. The miraculous is working through us. And we're witnessing it miracle by miracle. And that is to be celebrated. What a journey we've been on. Hashtag love yourself. Hashtag appreciate yourself. Hashtag appreciate others. And let our compassion for the truth of who we are flow through to all life and all of creation. Let our joy radiate from our smiles and our hearts. Let us soften into the process together and support each other, moving forward, moving forward together, side by side, sovereign, together, as one. If this love stream was inspiring, please share it. That's called gifting. There's lots of links for supportive meditations and a whole bunch of other love streams in the description box down below that I have been sharing about mitochondrial DNA, about transcending two-strand DNA, about all kinds of things to support our human family. We love, we so